What up? What up? This is your girl TY Lisa. Welcome back to Outside the Box podcast. Thank you for tuning in with your girl once again. Thank you for listening to last week's show. We are still in our MENZ conference at Outside the Box Baptist. We know Jesus. We believe in Black Jesus. Pentecostal Ministries Church. So thank you for tuning in with us. We celebrate Black men every month of June if you're new here, and we just want to show love. So I try to invite people that I know, people that I may not know as well, but friends may know, and we just have a conversation on life. I ask some questions. It might be fun, it might be deep, it may not even be neither, it just may be a question. But I think it's important for me as a Black woman to celebrate Black men. And I honestly think we do a good job at it. The men might think different. I don't know. We got a man on today. We're going to ask him. But I think it's truly, truly important to celebrate Black men. They're not celebrated enough. I feel like women are celebrated a lot. And I think we should continue to be celebrated a lot because we go through just as much as Black men go through too. Just maybe a little different. But Black men need love in these streets everywhere, not just here in America, but everywhere. And I don't think they get enough love. Father's Day, we just give them barbecues, and majority of the time they're on the grill, and they deacon sandals. And there's a lot of, women's conference, there's women breakfast, women empowerment workshops. There's a lot of things pertaining to women, which is great. But what about the men's? Y'all get the men's conference every March. That's it. Y'all don't get nothing else. So I have a great human being. Sometimes I was just telling him in the pre-show, sometimes he scared me a little bit. But we're just going to continue in Jesus' name. He is tall. He is light-skinned. I didn't even know he was that tall. I was looking at his pictures, and I was wondering, I always thought you were short, but you tall. Like, you tall.
Every day I try to be tall.
Every day you try to be tall. I love that about you.
Yeah.
I have Patrick Shaffer as my guest on this week. Hi, Pat. How are you?
Hey, Ty. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so good.
Good. Well, thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me. I feel special.
You are a Black light-skinned man. Amen. Praise God. Do that ever, do people ever ask what's your nationality, or they just know you Black?
Yeah, I'm Black. Yeah. Don't get it confused or anything. But I'm Black.
Okay, you Black.
Yeah.
I was gonna try to pronounce your middle name, but I know it's not Denzel.
It's not.
Because it got a big A. You know what I'm saying? After the big D.
Yeah.
Pause. So how do you pronounce your middle name? Yeah.
Yeah, so the pronunciation of my middle name is D'Anzel.
D'Anzel. You like that, huh? You like that?
I didn't like it. I didn't like it when I was a kid because it was so different. And it was weird to me. It's grown on me. I like it now. I love it now. But yeah. So that's on my birth certificate. So I'm not making it up or anything like that. That's my government name.
I could tell you like it. Because you know why?
Why?
You know why? Because it's on your Facebook. You could have just put D. You know what I'm saying? You could have just had D Shaffer, but you was like, nah, niggas, I want y'all to know that
what
I
this
am
is. Yeah.
D'Anzel. What is it called? D'Anzel?
D'Anzel. Yeah.
D'Anzel. That is different, Pat.
It is. It is. You want to know the story?
I would love it.
So my mother gave me that name. She said she had a cousin named Dupree and another cousin named Anzel. And she just put it together. So
we love to do that, right? The Blacks.
Clearly.
Somebody was like, Somebody was like, is your father named Tyrese and your mother named Lisa? I'm like, nah. Nope.
Well, I did that because you're the only Talisa that I know.
Really?
So how did that come about?
There's a few Talisas I know because it's Talisa. And I know sometimes you spell it with a double A. I don't know why, but it's cute. Thank you for putting another A at the
Um,
end.
is it Ty Lisa or T Lisa? We've been calling you. You've been all
Ty.
variations of name.
I blame my mother because she spelled it T-Y, but it's Talisa. Continue to call me Ty though. I love that.
Okay.
My cousin name is Talisa, so my mother just copied, basically.
Oh,
That's
okay. T Lisa and Ty Lisa. Okay. Yeah. That
special.
sounds black. That sounds very, very black of. I love it. I love that for us.
I do.
Yeah.
I do
Well,
too. I do
mhm.
too. My first question is, how are you, Pat? Like, not just like surface level, because you could say, "Oh, I'm good," I'm good. I'm black in America, so I'm good. Nope. I want to know, how are you? This second, this moment, how are you, sir?
That's a pretty profound question. I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. It has been it's been a transformative year for me. Um, and I just relocated. Um, and new beginnings can be messy, and you're doing it alone, trying to figure out a new city, a new job, new people, you know, um, very much grieving the distance between, myself and my family and my friends, loved ones. And so it feels isolating. Um, uh, yeah, it's messy, so I think my emotion, or what I think about it, it vacillates, just depending on what day it is, yeah. But as a man, um, you do what you got to do, right? And you press through it. And so, yeah, so that's what I'm doing. But thank you for asking me. I appreciate that question. But yeah, I don't know.
You don't know. Okay.
Yeah, I
All
don't.
right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you just relocated.
Mhm.
So you're, for my audience that may not know you, I met Pat through George. A lot of people I met through George, and I say this every time because me and George always got like this beef. I don't know why he
Mhm.
got beef with me. I feel like I'm the
Mhm.
coolest, but he he know how to bring people together. We just don't
Yeah.
stay together. Like there's always some type of separation.
We have a season that where everybody's together and then the Lord.
He good at that. It's just
Yeah.
we can't stay
Well, he's
together,
the apostle of the podcast. All right.
right? That is perfect. I love it. He,
Yeah. Yeah. He's
but do
the
you
Matthew
think
Stevenson's of podcast. Like he establishes works.
his work should stay established though, Pat?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he not doing well in that
Well,
ministry.
no. Well, look, no. He got the whole idea from Anwar. So hello, beautiful people. That's like his. If he could go dreads, he would. Like he just and he'd get tattoos. He just scared of needles.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
but yeah, so
that's
we
true.
we have George to thank for bringing beautiful people into our lives, and then for a season we together and it's great, and then the Lord calls us to different
Yeah,
works.
yeah, yep. He does, and
Yeah,
I thank George for bringing beautiful black people into my lives to my life. Amen. So I met Pat through George. Pat is originally from Chicago, Illinois.
yeah, yeah.
Um, he just received his master's. Amen. Praise
Mm,
God.
amen. Praise God.
And I think the day that I asked you to come on, I think the day you posted that you relocated, and I was like, wow. Like, and then the place you
Mhm.
relocated, you moved from Chicago
Yeah,
to Texas, but not just Texas, Pat. You moved to Austin?
yeah.
What the hell is there? Like what?
And I don't know anybody in Austin. Nobody. Like uh I didn't know. And so here's the thing. Like 2 years ago, when I started my master's program, I felt like my life was changing. Like I wanted it to change. I was making decisions like I want to do something different with my life. And so I knew by the time I finished my master's, I was like, yeah, I wanted my life to be different. I wanted different choices and different options to make. Um, and so, yeah, by the time, coming up on graduation, I started interviewing, at the top of the year and, different faculty positions and teacher positions here and there. And I got some soft offers and then I got a hard offer to come to Austin. And I was like, oh, I couldn't wait around. It's like, bills got to be paid. So yeah, Austin, Texas. Didn't know anybody here, and by the time I graduated, like I had 2 weeks to get everything packed, get everything shipped, get here. And I did it. And yeah, so I'm here. I'm Austin. First time here. So yeah. You know what it feels like? It feels like a big suburb. I've never lived in the suburbs before. I've always lived in the city. Chicago is a kind of it's a vertical place. It has big buildings, and it's a pedestrian city because people walk. We got a great rail system, so you can get anywhere by train, by bus, or whatever. Here, it's the suburbs. Um, you don't walk anywhere. uh, it rained the other day, and the whole city shut down. It's like what? You get these alerts are like flash floods. What floods? What is happening here? It's a suburb. It's slow, and it's horizontal, like it's all spread out, and
You're here.
I'm here. Yeah.
So my grandmother used to ship me to Austin, Texas every summer when I was younger.
Really?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
My aunt lives there, currently lives there now.
Can she cook?
She, yep, yeah.
Okay. Well, give her my number. Tell her I'll be calling. I need to
And I
meet black. Need to meet
and
black
I know it's
people.
big, so I'm pretty sure wherever y'all are, y'all probably far from each other, or may not. I don't
Hmm.
know. But
Hmm.
I used to come here. I used to watch my little cousins. My um aunt didn't have a lot of family in Texas as well. She married this man, and she had her in-laws, of course. But I used to go there.
She married your uncle.
Yep.
Okay, because you said this man, like I don't know him. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Was
My
married this man.
my uncle. Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Uncle Steve.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay.
They probably listening too. What up?
Yeah, God bless you, Uncle Steve. It's a men's show, so I figure we should give you a name.
Acknowledge, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So Austin is I'm very familiar with it. Is a is a whole lot better than when I was a kid. I'm hearing
Mhm.
there's a lot of upbuilding. There's a lot of stuff going downtown. I know
Mhm.
Southwest was there for a few years. I went there
South
one
by
summer.
Southwest.
Yep,
It's still here.
it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I went there
Hmm.
one March, I think, one
Okay.
year, and it was
Yeah.
there and it was live.
Hmm.
Um, it's funny because my we're looking to move soon,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
Texas is on the radar. And I was gonna, ask your opinion. Austin is not. Just gonna put that out there.
Got you. Got you.
Austin's not.
Okay.
Houston, Dallas area. Also Georgia.
Okay.
But
Okay.
my son is looking to go to school in those places too. So
Hmm.
um,
Hmm. And that's
so
exactly what he wants. He wants his mother to follow him wherever he goes.
what's it? It
Wherever
wasn't
you
planned.
go,
I swear.
we gonna
No.
play, we gonna move with you. You ain't getting away. Got to keep you safe.
I swear it wasn't. I'm saved.
Right.
So it wasn't planned. I swear. I swear.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
we just came back from Houston. Houston is a good time. I hope you get to
Hmm.
enjoy that place whenever you can.
I got
'Cause
friends there, so
okay,
I'm gonna get there.
yeah. So you transition. Okay, so you transit. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back.
Hmm. Hmm.
You transitioned from Chicago city life. Now you're in the suburban area, and you mentioned faculty teacher.
Hmm.
So you took a position in Austin to be a teacher?
Yes, I did. Um, which was always the goal that I
Okay.
wanted to. I always wanted to teach. That's what all this was for. And I wanted to go into higher education, but I needed I wanted some teaching experience first. I wanted that on my application, that I have been actually in practice of, some of the things that I've been researching and studying. And so I thought teaching in high school would just give me some good experience. And so yeah, I started looking at teaching positions in high schools and junior colleges, and um, cost of living is and affordability is so much better in Texas. Um, and so yeah, and here I am. Here I am.
So I love to see your posts when you talk about these kids because it's like
Mm, mhm.
you sound like a fish out of water sometimes. It's like
Yeah, yeah. It feels like that. Like, how did I get this? Is absolutely bananas.
you're the guy on Abbott Elementary. Like you are
Yeah,
what's his name? The black guy?
Gregory.
Gregory.
I
Yes.
totally understand him. Like, I totally get it now. Like, I get it now.
Yeah.
What is happening? I had a kid today. So in the classroom. So I right now I'm doing my practicum, and so I'm in the elementary school teaching like fifth graders.
Mhm.
So these kids, they sit in little groups or whatever in the classroom. So today some kids didn't come to class, and there's one little kid who's sitting by himself and at his group table. And so one of the teachers who was in the room was like, "Hey, we're gonna get together and do some group work. Hey, could you come over and sit with, these other students so we can get this work done?" And he looked at her and was like, "No, I'm good." When I tell you, I tell you, I had to leave the classroom because that's the exact same thing I would have said.
I
I've
know.
been like,
I know.
I'm good. Like, it's just too many people over there. It's just, I'm good. Right. It's just, these kids, they're interesting, little humans. And it is wild that I didn't have this on my bingo card for 2026. But okay, I'm here, and make it work.
Yes. I love it. I
Yeah.
think there needs to be like a series. I know you can't really videotape,
No,
but
cannot do that at all legally. That is against the law. I can't do that. But it would be hilarious. I'm
I
telling you,
know.
like every day. Like it's these kids got something new going on.
I know you're the teacher, but what are you looking to learn from this, from the fifth graders? Are you even looking to learn anything? I think the fifth graders can teach you a lot, though.
You know what I'm learning and what I'm most fascinated about. Like, I had an idea about the education system in America. Now I'm seeing it like in real time and like on a granular level. And now I'm beginning to understand that the education system is not built, it's not student centered. Like, it's not for the intellectual social development. It is um a space, another system that capitalism um manifests itself and dictates the terms of that social contract that society has with classes. Hey, how are you? See, this is basically what happens to me all day. I could be up
Henry,
teaching, and then there's some student who needs something.
I'll record it. What's wrong? I'm sorry. What's wrong, Yuri? Can
Oh,
you?
that's
I'll
too
be in there
bad.
for a
Forgive me.
second, okay? Go back to bed. Can you close the door?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Listen,
I'm
if she
sorry,
can't go to
Patrick.
sleep, she can't go to sleep. I get it. Need mama.
What's the odds of that? We're talking about children, and then
I get it.
okay.
I get it. I
Go
totally
ahead.
understand.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Pat.
No. The education system is not
Yeah,
about students.
yeah.
And I think that's something that I needed to observe and I needed to see, especially in spaces that in schools that they call underserved. What that's code for is black and brown. Um, and that's what they're teaching me. And that's what I'm learning. It's kind of like a lab that I get to kind of do research in and see. And so yeah, they're very much teaching me a great deal. And I'm sure I will not forget these kids wherever I go. I'm going to remember these kids. It's absolutely hilarious. Yeah.
So I kind of did like a deep dive. Not really a deep dive. Like I did like
Mhm.
I don't know what you want to call it, but I dived into your photos of your Facebook, and I've
Mhm.
learned. I'm gonna share what I learned about you, because I'm celebrating Patrick
Mhm.
Shaffer on tonight, and if you put it out there, you wanted people to know. So I'm just gonna remind you of what I've learned when I went through your Facebook. So I learned that you were a pastor. We're gonna talk about that.
Mhm.
You're an activist.
Mhm.
You're an author. You're a singer.
Yeah.
Your
Okay.
son.
Yeah.
Your grandson. Your brother.
Mhm. Mhm.
Your best friend.
Mhm.
You're a podcast host.
Am.
You're a guitarist.
Yeah.
You are a Patriots fan?
Used to be.
Used to be.
Yeah.
What's your
Old
team
things
now?
become new. I'm a free agent right now. Like in football, I have not settled on a
I mean,
team.
you're in Texas, so Cowboys, are you
No,
gonna
we are
come?
we're not doing that. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Even if I wanted to, I wouldn't do it because I would not give Victor the satisfaction
I get it.
that deserve to be happy about football.
Yeah, you're right. I get it. Are you a
Yeah.
Lakers fan?
I used to be, and I will be once LeBron leaves. I can go back to being a Lakers fan when he leaves.
All right. I also learned that you are a lover of Michael Jackson, Prince, Stevie Wonder,
Hmm.
Jesse Jackson,
Yeah,
Malcolm
forever.
X,
Yeah, yeah,
Janet Jackson. We're gonna stay here.
yeah,
You are a lover of Janet Jackson.
yeah.
And I
And my love for
read,
and is real.
yeah,
Yeah,
you had a picture of her when it looked like she was in first grade or kindergarten. And I'm like, how he get
that's when
that?
I fell in love. That's when I fell in love. Yeah.
You also said that you are the head intercessor of
Yeah,
Janet
I
Jackson.
am. Gotta keep her covered. That's what the good partner, good husband, that's what we do. That's what we called to do. We gotta cover these women, these black queens in prayer.
I'm glad. I'm glad
Yeah.
you covering her.
She all right? Ain't she been all right?
She has.
Ain't that happened to her?
She good. She look good too. She still
Yeah,
look good.
yeah.
You are a lover of lemonade,
Am
lover of Black Jesus.
have to be.
You are a lover of sweets. Now, you had like cheesecake, peach cobbler, chocolate cake. Like,
I know.
is there a
I got
fat
it.
kid inside of you? Like,
It
you.
is. There's an inner fat person on the inside of me. It is. And thank God I'm tall, and thank God, my genes have been holding up pretty good. And every time I go to the doctor, and he was like, "These labs look okay." I'm like, for real? I got promise you, I thought I had diabetes by now. But no, I'm good. But I don't eat as much sweets as I used to. Um, they're regulated to like twice a week, 2 nights a week.
Okay.
I'm
Good.
gonna have sweets, so I'm
Good.
much better.
I think I went back to 2010. I was like, yeah, I can't go no farther. This is
Hmm.
like it was a
But that's
lot.
about that about sums everything, man. For the
Okay.
most part. Yeah. I don't
Okay.
know if there's anything
I
else.
love the fact that you're interceding for Janet Jackson. I think she needs
Somebody's
it.
got to.
Yeah,
Somebody's got
I
to. We got to pray for these black women.
when did you fall in love with her? Like at the age of 5?
Yeah, basically four. Cause I was a kid. I was a little kid watching Good Times at home. And there's 9 years between she and I. So if I'm four, like she's what, 13? And I was like, when I get to fourth grade, that's the kind of woman I want. And these were reruns too, by the way. So I'm watching reruns. So I'm thinking she's
That age?
like she's my age. Like, oh, like we could be together. Like, like what school, what elementary school she go to? Because I want to transfer wherever she is. It wasn't until like I got older to realize, oh, yeah, well, she's older. And that revelation came when like Good Times went off and then Different Strokes came on and then she was on Different Strokes. I was like, but she grew a whole lot. I know that's her. But I was like, in like a span of like a half hour, like
Yeah.
she aged like 10 years. Um, but then when I saw on Different Strokes, I was like, I'm a freshman. That's the I woke
That's the
up.
girl.
And then when I got freshman, she was on Fame. I was like, when I'm a senior, I could pull up. Yeah. And so that's, it's deeply rooted in my childhood.
So
Yeah.
have you ever like met her?
No, I met Joe, which
Okay.
is crazy.
How was that?
It was crazy. So I was at a Janet concert and I had floor seats. And out of the corner of my eye, I see a guy in a fedora and he had like two models with him. And I called him and like he walked past me. And I smelled he had old man cologne on, like gray flannel or brute or something like that. Like that was what he was on. And I was like, Joe Jackson. And then he looked and and then he kept walking. And I said to myself, that is the most important father since Abraham. What came out this nigga loins changed the world. Did.
It did. Do you agree with his practices though?
Look, if you're gonna have an omelet, you're gonna break some eggs. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna have a egg scramble, you're gonna scramble some eggs.
Yeah, it's true.
It's messy. No, of course not. Um, I think he was brutish. He was barbaric. Um, um, and so no, was he a horrible parent? Probably, most likely, for the most part, he was. And then his kids had great affection for him. So that wasn't all he was, right? I think we're all complicated. None of us are perfect. We're this and that at the same time. It's just that when Joe was at his best, he pushed his kids to be the best they could be. And that changed the world. Um, at his worst, he scarred them. And yeah, and so.
That about you, Pat. Like I've been on podcast episodes with you a lot, and I sometimes I just sit and listen to you. We do a lot of laughing when you're on. Like there's a lot of foolery, and I think it's like when you and George get together. I don't, and if Pastor James come on, then it's a wrap. But I think you guys have like that dynamic in that relationship because of you were on the remix, right?
Yeah.
But I love that and this is, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think when we have these conversations on the podcast, it seems like you always see the humanity in people. When we judging and telling them like, oh, you're going to hell, you're like, oh, well, maybe not. Like maybe, like you said, to the point of Joe, maybe he really is just a complex person. maybe his father didn't love him, so that shows up in the
Yeah,
way he parents.
yeah.
Where did that come from?
A couple of things. So I'm a church kid, right? Um, my mother was Pentecostal and my father was Baptist. And so my mom was real strict holiness, right? And my dad was kind of more liberal. And what my dad told me as a kid, he was like, the church is a hospital. And nobody goes to the hospital when they're well. They go when they're sick. Um, and we're all sick and have ailments, and that's why we're here. And so I think that idea helped me to understand that we all reach for faith or whatever, or for drugs, for alcohol, because we are in pain. And some medicated with Jesus, some medicated with drugs, alcohol, or sex, or whatever. But at the core of us, we're all people struggling, trying to medicate ourselves, trying to be better. And sometimes our quest to be better is how we medicate ourselves. I know people who are incredibly moral, like they don't do anything. They are straight by the book. And then they'll look down on people who drink alcohol or who smoke weed or who do all these things. And I'm like, well, you're addicted. Your vice and your addiction is to your virtues and your morality. You're medicating it in an opposite direction, but it's all the same mechanics.
Yeah.
And so my life or my perspective is kind of rooted in realism. And then I went into philosophy, and I was thinking about this yesterday. I probably went into philosophy, number one, to understand death. I wanted to understand like why we die and how we die and what does it mean to die, what does it mean to live. I was infinitely curious about that. And then another piece of it was I was infinitely trying to understand me. Um, and philosophy was a way for me to dig deeper, to be more reflective and more introspective, and to kind of mine ideas and thoughts. And what I figured was I couldn't be the only person who was thinking about the afterlife, or what does it mean to live, and what is meaning, and all of these kind of existential philosophical questions. And so I wanted to hear what they had to say about it, and how they were thinking, and hopefully feel a little less lonely in my thinking, because I had found other people who were thinking or asking the same kind of questions, and that's what I found. And so, um, you know, my worldview was very much shaped by my parents and my grandmother also, because my grandmother was Baptist. She was a musician, um, and she was Baptist. So on Saturday nights, I would come over to her house, and she would have like a little glass of like brandy, or she drank beer, and she would listen to Nat King Cole or some jazz, and she would be reading her Sunday school lesson, because she was going to teach Sunday school on Sunday morning, right? And so these contrasts
Yeah.
of things that I saw was like, oh, okay, this is just people. Um, and my dad was a musician, right? And so if I went with my dad on a Sunday morning, early in the morning, like we could be Catholic, about mid-morning we could be Lutheran, by 12 we could be Baptist, by 2 o'clock we was Church God in Christ, because they ain't start church till late. And in Chicago we had these spiritual churches where they burn candles, and that they had a lot of iconography or whatever. So I grew up understanding that there's a lot of different expressions to our faith, and we all could believe in Jesus and worship him differently and have different language, and the music is different and people dress different, but they're all, looking towards heaven and looking towards Christ. And so I was raised to be inclusive. I was
Yeah.
raised with this kind of pluralistic idea that it's okay if you want to be Catholic and you want to, burn incense and do all the other kind of stuff. And if I want to go be Kojic, I can do that and go roll on the floor and Terry and purge and all of that. Loved all of that. Just get it done. And I didn't know that that was different. I
Yeah.
thought everybody was
Hmm.
like that until I got to be a teenager and people started making comments because I went to I could go with my friends to a Catholic church, go to a spiritualist church, go to that, and they were so narrow. Like it was like if you don't do it the way we do it, if you don't sing the songs we sing, if you don't worship Christ and believe everything, have communion the way we have it, then you're wrong,
Yeah.
right? You're going to hell, even though you can call on Jesus. But if you don't do it like we doing it, because we the only ones who are doing it right. Um, and so yeah, yeah, that's kind of how I was raised to think, and I still think that way. I still think that pluralism has a space. It has its place, and to be broad in our application of Jesus's love, and to understand that we're all here at the same time. And like you and I are having, this conversation, but it's the first time you and I have had this conversation,
Yeah.
right? And so we're all having these moments the first time at the same time. And sometimes we're going to get things right, and sometimes we're going to get things wrong. Sometimes we're going to say the wrong thing. Sometimes we're going to do the wrong thing, and that's okay. It makes life interesting.
I love that because I think for some, like I listened to Kev on stage testimony and how for him he's seen church, going to church and all of that, and then he's seen like Jen behind the TV, and it kind of like confused him. But you wasn't confused. It's like you knew, okay, I know my grandmother, she got that brandy, baby. And she gonna go and teach Sunday school tomorrow, but she's still saved. Like she still know God. So that
Hmm.
wasn't like confusing for you. So I know that this had to be a good trait for you to be a pastor, because it's like you see the humanity, you see the spiritual. So you wasn't just so super saved, sounds like it, like you wasn't super saved, I'm assuming, as a pastor, but you actually had the heart for the people, teaching knowledge, being a realist. That it's like you were cultured, right? You had this worldview that was bigger than most pastors have. And I'm pretty sure that that was like a great attribute in that office. Was that something that helped you during that time as a pastor?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And yet it caused me problems too.
Of course.
Yeah, I wanted to create community. I was never after to be the popular pastor or to be, uh, you know, the mega church pastor and all those different kind of things. Like I thought the highest calling for me was to be a pastor, and I wanted to do that well, and I wanted to do it with integrity. I wanted to do it with honesty. Um, and so, yes, that helped me be incredibly accepting of people. Um, it helped me be patient. It helped me to craft a theology that was encompassing of what I was experiencing, because to be a pastor gives you like this upfront uh, role to the human condition, and how all complicated um, that is, and that it can be, and yet in engaging people in their complexity, they have also been conditioned with this kind of binary of like things are black and white, right? Um, and I always saw the gray in it and was okay with um, open-ended questions.
Yeah.
And yet I understand what I learned was that people in their faith, especially like my mom's generation and the generation before, they were so focused in on heaven and they were so focusing on being right, being what the Lord called us to be in these last and evil days, that there was no room for nuance.
Yeah.
You know, and that became like a prison for some people. And I began to see, like, I can't tell you anything differently or build upon what you know, because that may deconstruct what your Sunday school teacher or some wonderful church mother who helped you get saved, you
Yeah.
know, it might contradict those things if, we start talking about, who God loves and who gets to go to heaven, and asking those kinds of questions. You brought up Kev on stage, and I know a few weeks ago we all saw, like, people were really mad at him for loving his son like God loves us. Like, what? I thought that God loved us unconditionally, and you're saying that if he practices that with his own son, he going to hell? What? I don't. What? How is he? How does that work? And so I think, um, that kind of tension is what we move away from instead of leaning into and having these kind of conversations. Um, and so yeah, it helped me pastor them, but it also only allowed me to go so far
Yeah.
with them. And so it's okay. It's okay.
So you actually wanted to be a pastor? Like, you like, yo, sign me up. I got that.
That is such a complicated question. I've been asked that a lot. Um, Here's what I will say. I was a church kid, and I grew up in a time of church where everything was a sin.
Yeah.
And so they kept us in church.
Yeah.
I tell people this all the time. I thought school was something you did in between going to church. Like, you went to church and then they dropped you off at school and they picked you up and we went back to church. I thought school was just a holding place for us during the day so we could go to revival that night. I promise you, we did church. When I tell you, they kept us in church all the time. And then when you get older, a little older, a little teen, preteen, teenager, you're so ingrained in this society, you go to church when church ain't even happening. You
Yeah.
just go to church to hang out, like to see
Right.
who up here. You go play on the drums, you play, get in the room singing, somebody come through. It was just that social space for us. And so when you grow up and all your heroes are preachers, you know what I'm saying? All the people who were a big deal
Yeah.
were evangelists, and preachers. For me, it was like Richard Hinton and E.E. Cleveland and Bishop Ford, like all of these people. You think that this must be what I'm supposed to do. And then when you're in it, I was a junior minister, I was a junior usher, junior deacon, sang in the junior choir. And so it was just like this, road that I thought, oh, well, this is what I'm supposed to do. And so I don't know if I can't say that I chose it, ministry.
Okay.
It was just natural for me to do. And so by the time I started pastoring, I was in it. Like, I got licensed to preach at 16. I got ordained at 18. I was married by the time I was 22.
That's crazy.
So I mean, that was what that was.
Yeah. And you had to get married, right? Because you didn't want to
Had
burn in
to.
sin. Had
I
to,
had
right?
to. Yeah, had to. And if I was thinking about pastoring, can't do it alone. So I was trying to live out, our Creflo Taffy Dollar. We find come on, the word of faith out here. Watching the Gina Pearson, it's early 90s. We trying to do what the Lord want us to do, live right. So yeah, that's what it was. That's what that was. And so it was a calling. It absolutely was. Did I choose it? No, I didn't wake up one day and be like, and yeah, So yeah, um, and I don't I have some regrets, but I don't regret that because it shaped me into the man that
Yeah.
I am. Like I learned how to care about people. I learned how to be faithful. I learned how to be committed. I learned how to be patient. Like all of those things, I've learned how to do. And even if I am not a pastor anymore, all of those things are deeply meaningful to who I am as a person. I'm deeply grateful for that time.
I love that. I love that. So I asked a few women what would they ask a black man. I asked a few men. I just want to say the men gave me one, two, three, four questions. The women gave me 25. Okay, I just want to put that out there.
Who was the women that you was talking to?
You don't know them, but I will say that they're black. One is Latina. Um, one is a older woman, like in her 60s.
Mhm.
A few of them are my age. Some of them are your age because you older than me. I mean, praise God. And there's a lot. So I want to one of the questions was actually what like shaped you to be the man you are today. So you were talking about how being in the office of a pastor kind of shaped you or help you grow into, or I guess be understanding as a man, I guess. But
Mhm.
what made you feel safe? Makes you feel safe? I know being in a black man in America is not safe. But do you have a safe space, and what makes you feel safe?
That's a complicated question. Because I think safety is an illusion. Yeah, we're not safe. COVID taught us we're not safe. We are very vulnerable to things that we can't even see. We leave our homes, we assume we come back home. Hopefully we come back. When we go outside, yeah, we're not safe. We don't know, be at the I feel more unsafe now. I was telling somebody else then, um, in a elementary school in Texas, around a bunch of white people, I feel more unsafe than I did in the streets of Chicago. 'Cause, they run up in Texas schools. They don't really do that in Chicago. Like not up in the school. You're not gonna get up in the school like that. But in
We gotta keep
Texas,
you lifted. We
they
gotta
run up
keep
in
you in
schools.
prayer.
And I was like, yeah, I feel more unsafe here than I did walking down any street in Chicago. Um, the rain came like it was a thunderstorm the other night, and I got these alerts on my phone: flash flood warning, don't leave the house. What? I looked outside. I thought I was gonna see Noah rolling down the street. I was like, it's just rain. Like, what are y'all? Safety, yes. So safety, I think, is an illusion. And yet, with that being said, I think what's also true is that I think people are safe spaces for us. I feel safe uh, in my friendships. I think in our best friendships, we feel safe. With people who have known me longer than I've known myself, my mother, my godmother, uncles, aunts, people who love you not because of anything, they just love you because who you are. That makes me feel safe. Um, yeah. So I think people are safe spaces for us, which is why I think it's so devastating sometimes when we lose certain people, because it ultimately makes us feel a little less safe. Um, yeah, yeah.
When I was doing the little deep scroll on your Facebook, I noticed the pictures of like you and these women. I'm assuming that it was your mom. One of them might have been your grandmother,
Mhm.
but you got a lot of pictures like with your brother. And I know
Which one?
I'm assuming it's your older brother.
Okay.
Y'all all light skinned, so I'm not.
No,
I'm.
yeah.
But I noticed the closeness. Not the
Hmm.
closeness like I'm imagining. Just looking at the picture and you like close on them, hugging them, you know. And
Hmm.
for some men, that's uncomfortable to be too close to another man. Like you said, Kevin on stage can't love his son the way he needs to love his son. Like God loved his son, right? Like
Right.
growing up as a black man, you had your father with you, you had your mother, you had that foundation. Was it just easy for you to just show that affection to your brothers, to your mother, to your grandmother? Did it come natural? Were you ever like rebuked or ridiculed for it? Because nowadays you can't, not to say you can't, but you're going to be judged as a man. I mean, and
Mm.
we jokingly, I said this before because I had Greg on the week before. A black man can't even eat a banana. Like he gotta cut it up. Like you can't say meat without saying pause. And I know it's a joke, but
Mhm.
honestly, like that's a lot of pressure. So like
Yeah,
growing up, how did that look for you?
you're asking some very deeply profound questions. Um, okay. So there were a couple of things happening when I was younger. Um, First of all, I by my dad being a musician, a gospel artist and musician, there were a lot of his friends who were men. They weren't conventionally masculine, right? Um, Gospel music has always been queer. And when I say queer, I don't mean about anything about sexuality. I mean that they've been creatives, they've been different, they've just been that. And so my idea of masculinity was very broad because I knew that they were men. I did not assume they were gay because I didn't know what sexuality was. I was a kid, and these are my dad's friends and colleagues, and this is Uncle so and so, and this is and they loved me like they looked after me like I was their own or whatever. And so I just never my that helped broaden my idea of what a man was. That I think masculinity is composed of what is masculine and feminine. And I think, that's fluid. It expresses itself in different ways. Sometimes it does express itself with sexuality, but sometimes it doesn't have to be. I think that you can be a gentle man without being Joe Jackson. I don't have to be brutish. I don't have to be cruel in order uh, to be a man. Like that's not the only definition of what it means to be a man, and perhaps that's not even a definition and should not be a characteristics of men anyway, right? But I think that's conventional. I think that's what is expected. Second thing is, I was um I was a member of a choir when I was in my teenage years.
Hold on, hold
Social,
on. So you were in, I got it. I'm sorry.
yeah,
You were a part of the church boy band choir because y'all was a boy band. Y'all had the sequence. Um, and I felt like you was probably the lead singer. You was the Bobby Brown of the group. So it
no,
was
slow
Soul
back,
Children
slow
of Chicago.
back. Yeah, Soul Children of Chicago was not a boy band; it was a choir. It was a choir. Um, and we traveled all over the world doing that thing. Um, and yet there was this assumption that if you sang, somehow you are feminine. Um, but we were in church, and so singing was like what we did. We sang in the choir, and so being a part of gospel music that early on, you saw some stuff, right? You were, kind of exposed to some things, and even though we were very protected, and Mr. Whitman was very, very protective of us, it was still a very vulnerable space. And I'm grateful because there were a lot of kids who were my age who didn't survive um, that time. I am whoever I am because of the women who loved me. I have been loved by, I had the greatest grandmother in the whole wide world, who loved me to death, uh, unconditionally, would kill you over me. My mother is the same way. My godmother's the same way. And all of those were spaces of affection for me. Um, my brothers will call me names because they think, I'm the most sensitive out of all of them, and I am. I am incredibly sensitive, and I don't find that a dichotomy, to being a man. I think part of being a man is to mind your own emotions and to live with them, to try to understand them, and be as healthy as you can be. Um, and if I am emotionally healthy, if I am emotionally aware, it is because I have had Black women in my life who gave me unstinted love and communicated that to me in word and in deed. Those habits, have grown to, as I've gotten older, and then you get older, Ty, you're gonna get a little older. You're gonna have some friends who are not gonna make it as far as you make it, and some mentors and people who you love, they're gonna make their transition, and then you're gonna become infinitely aware of the fact that, um, if I love you, I want you to know it. If I care about you, I want to show it. I'm going to show up for you. I'm going to let you know. So if I have to stand by your grave, there's nothing left unsaid between us. Like I can have peace. Like you knew I loved you and I knew you loved me, and we're good. And so journey on. And so I think as I've gotten older, and perhaps, I mean, that's not unique to me. I think that's maturity. That's what happens when we're blessed to get older. Hopefully, everybody doesn't. Can't say everybody does that, but for me that was important. And so, yeah, I am incredibly sensitive, and I am that way because of the Black women who have loved me and shaped me and given me, more than I ever deserved.
I love that you you share that it's the Black women that in your life that has
Mhm.
helped you and shaped you and molded you. I was listening to Jason Nelson, not Jason Nelson, Jason Wilson.
Mhm.
Is he from Chicago too? The author?
I don't know who that
He wrote Cry Like a Man. You don't know? Okay. Okay, cool. So Jason, I believe it's Jason Wilson. See, now I'm messing up. I should know this. I was doing so good, man. Okay.
It
So
happened.
with he was on a podcast and he was talking about he was on the Pivot podcast. I love that podcast.
Okay.
Um and he was talking about, they were asking him questions about, masculinity and what that looks like, and
Mhm.
the pressures of being a Black man in America and being emotionally incarcerated and stuff like that. And he basically was describing the word masculinity, and he basically was saying it's characteristics of strength, responsibility. Like a woman can be masculine, but like
Mhm.
I guess society and the world has put so much pressure on the term masculinity for a man that now it shows up to be like this thing that sometimes is not even achievable as a man. So the women you're saying that the women in your life has supported you and shaped you and molded you. What was your relationship with your dad? Like, you said was he a preacher too?
Mm-mm.
Oh, he was a
No,
musician. I'm sorry.
he was a musician.
He was a musician. So he was
Mhm.
the Baptist musician. He probably had
Mhm.
the gin with the Newports in the back. They're all
No, 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 no,
no.
no. No, my dad did not. It's funny. No, he did not drink. He didn't smoke. He didn't do none of that.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
So
no.
how was the relationship like with your dad, and what was one thing that he taught you that you still do to this day or appreciate to this day?
My dad and I got closer as I got older. My dad is a junior, so My older brother was the third. He was the first of the siblings. And so they were close. That was his
Yeah.
namesake.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was second. I was more my mom's child. Um, and and until my younger brother was born, who replaced me. Um, and there's 10 years between me and my younger brother, right? And so um, I am a classic middle child, have all the classic middle child stuff. And so I was more, after my younger brother was born, I was more independent. Became more of a loner, became more inner directed. I kind of became more withdrawn. I created family for myself. Found friends who became lifelong friends, and that was my space to be seen. I played basketball. I found other places to have some identity.
Yeah.
Um, and as I got older, then me and my dad got closer because if I could say like on a Sunday morning, Dad, I want to go with you, but he knew like after that second or third service, I want my mama. Like I'm tired of going to church. Where's my mama at? I want to go home. And he couldn't do that. So like he wouldn't take me with him. He was like,
Mm-hmm.
no, because you're gonna start crying and I can't, I gotta go to work. So there was some distance there until I got older and we became close. One of the things that I remember him telling me, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I held on to it as a truth for a very, very long time. He used to tell me, he said, Patrick, your gift to make room for you. He was like, you don't have to lie, you don't have to steal, you don't have to go through all those changes. If God gave you something, it will create space for you. And I believe that wholeheartedly when he told me and lived by it. As I gotten older, I think maybe he's about 50% true because the people who get attention and the people who are on stage, the people who do great things aren't there because they're the most gifted. It's not about gifting. Um, there are people who are incredibly gifted and talented who never get opportunities. Um, it's like there could be a million gifted basketball players who could actually play in the NBA, but there's only 400 positions in the NBA. So if you got a million people that got talent and you got 400 opportunities, somebody not going to get in. It doesn't mean that they're not gifted. It doesn't mean that they couldn't do it. It's just that the opportunities aren't there. And I think in life, the reality is there's some people who are gifted who never get the opportunities that some people do. And there's some people who get opportunities who aren't gifted like that. They just knew somebody that knew somebody and these things happen and they hustled. And I tell people like I wrote a book and I I thought that if I just wrote the best book, that it's like art. So art will find its own audience and it'll find its own space and it'll be great because I really put attention in the words, only to find out that the publishing industry doesn't work like that. um if you have the best book but you don't have enough money to get it in front of people and market it, you just got the best book ain't nobody ever heard of. It's more to it than just the art of it. You have to do, there's more working and positioning and some things that you have to do in order to make that happen. So I do think he gave me a good base, and I remember his words. I just add a little addendum to it that kind of makes it a little more closer to the reality, because looking back at it, I think he could have done more.
Yeah.
I think he could have been, if he pushed and did some of the other things some other people did. I thought, well, he could have done more with his talent, but he rested on the fact like, oh, I got, what's for me is for me and da 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 da. And maybe, I don't know, maybe he wanted more for himself and he didn't have it to do for himself. Here's what I learned too, is that you can't do great big things by yourself. You need somebody who's going to partner with you to help you get to where you want to go. If the journey is great and if it's bigger than you, you need some help lifting it. And so, yeah, he taught me that your gift will make room for you. Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
But there's some other involvement that you have to have with your gift in order for it to really be as big as you envision it to be. And so, um, yeah, I commune with his words and his wisdom more now that he's gone, than I did, when he was here. And I just think that's life, and um, how we understand ourselves and how we understand our parents. We understand them more clearly as we get older, as they get older, and sometimes when they leave us. And so, yeah, yeah, but we were close,
Yeah.
by the time he passed away. And so, yeah, that's very significant.
So, so as a kid, having your father present, right? You had a closer relationship with your mom. So,
Mhm.
a few questions that the women wanted to ask was like, and you said that women, the women in your family were very important to you.
Mhm.
One question was, how can women support Black men? But also, who was the man that shaped you into the man you are today? So maybe for you, it was a woman who shaped you the man that you are today.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's as simple as this or that.
Okay.
Like, I think they all, like, I was raised by a village.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not just my parents. My parents had support, around them. And so it wasn't just them, but they created a space for me to be fed by a lot of different people. Like, my grandmother had um, a big influence on me. My grandfather, even though I can't remember one sentence my grandfather ever said to me, because he mumbled. He's just, you understood him, but he didn't really say words like that. He just, but he served in Korea, right? And
Hmm.
he worked, he worked for General Electric when he came back from the war, and he supported his family, and he did, yeah. I met a slave before. Did I ever tell you that?
What?
I did. My my grandfather's father, which is my great grandfather, his name was James Shaffer, West Point, Mississippi. He was born in 1888. When I was 6 years old, so this is 1981, they took us to a family reunion in Mississippi, and he was still alive. He was born um, after the Civil War, 20 years after the Civil War. He was born during the time of Reconstruction, which basically meant that this nigga was a slave, because slavery, just kind of mutated and changed, but
Yeah.
there were Reconstruction, there were black codes. When I think about it now, I remember seeing him. They brought me into the room where he was, and he was sitting in a wheel, not in a wheelchair, in a rocking chair, rolling cigarettes from tobacco. And he looked at me like I was an alien. I looked at him like he was an alien. We didn't say anything. We just looked at each other very weirdly, like who he was look because he was very dark, like very, very dark. Um, and I was, had no melanin in my skin when I was a kid. Like, light bright is what I was. And so they told him who I was. I remember they saying, "This is your great grandson." He looked at me like, "Who is this?" Like, and I looked at him like, "Ugh, well, who is he?" But as I've thought about that these last few years, it's like, people say, like, racism is over and da 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 da. And it was like, no, I met a slave, nigga. It's not that long ago.
Yeah.
And when I think about, like, he was born before electricity, I mean, he was, born, and, what he saw and what he had before airplanes and before cars, like, we still pay taxes on the 40 acres that was given to our family, after slavery.
Yeah.
And I think about the resilience of him. He had 12 kids and fed them and raised them. And all these different kind of things. Like that speaks to me
Yeah.
that I come from um, men and women, who suffered some of the most horrendous of conditions in America. And so all of these things, speak to me and they shape me, and they hold me accountable,
Yeah.
in some ways. And so I was blessed and probably of a last generation. Maybe you know this too, where like your church family is your family. Right? They couldn't be any closer. We spent so much time together. We were raised together. And so it's like no one person that shaped me, but it was a group project. I was a group project. And some of them, gone to heaven, and but they, I remember, you remember them. And um, I think that our lives are made up of a lot of different loves, right? Your partner, your companion can be primary, it could be important, it could have priority. And yet, what made you who you were all of these other loves that you had in your life, um, that fed you. And so, yeah, I'm a product of a lot of love.
I love that. Men need to be a product of a lot of love, man.
I was
I
blessed.
that and community and having a village, that is so important. I know, I mean, you do give off that you are an introvert. You do give that off a lot, and
Mhm,
screaming.
mhm, mhm.
Um but to know that you did have a village, you had a community, and it's so I think it's really important. I think it's easy for women to be in community, to be in friendships, to just, oh girl, you so cute. Like
Is it though?
it's I think so. No, or you think it's
I
fake?
I think I think that you all's relationship are as complicated as men's, but in very different ways. Yeah, I don't know if you all connect um, better than men or more frequently than men. I think that you all really picky about who you connect with, um, and that's fine. But this idea that men don't connect with one another, or that we don't have community, is that's just not true. We may not, have a whole magazine to talk about it. We may not we may not have a whole hashtag, or a whole Instagram account just dedicated to me and my girls and the trips we take. Like that's not how we we live into our
Right.
friendship like that. So I think just because women advertise, or it's their relationships are more visible, doesn't make them more healthy. And it doesn't mean that men have lesser friendships. We just live into them in very different ways.
Do you think that women are more open though to those friendships and community? For me, I think it's, I guess when I was younger, I was different. I was guarded. I didn't trust a lot of people. I was mean. It was a lot of stuff going on back in the day for me. But as I
Mhm.
grew and I found Christ and all of that stuff, I started to be open. And now I blossomed to be like this social butterfly that I was never like that before. And
Mhm.
I think now, for me, it's easier for me to build communities and be open to new friendships, not saying no new friends and all of that, which I was doing, back in the day. But do you think like men are more closed off to friendships in community?
No,
Okay.
we just had somebody new join the group chat today.
First of
So
all, okay, Patrick, we're not going to do that because that group chat is trash. And
we just added somebody to the group chat today. So yeah, we 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 take in new members.
see that nigga Apostle George, like,
Hmm.
nah.
It sure did. Sure did. Introduce another to the fold.
uh,
No, you know what? Here's what I will say. I think we live into life very differently. Men are probably more world focused, and this is going to lead us down a rabbit hole. Men are focused on what is attractive to women, right? See, You're taught from a very early age that there's value in your body, right? The scripture will talk about your hair is your glory. Solomon talks about, the beauty of a woman, her body and her shoulders, her eyes, and um, all of these things that are in her body that holds value. And when you're young, you all are taught that men only want one thing from you, and you have to protect it, like you have to be guarded. They were all boys in my house, so they didn't tell me that I only wanted one thing from it. I didn't know y'all had one thing. I didn't know what y'all, like, I didn't know what, like, I had no idea, none, because they didn't tell me that women were the enemy or that they were predators and things like that. So I think men are socialized actually to be more open than women. I think as we get older and find out that our openness can cause hurt, it can cause harm. Um, and we're met with women who find us suspicious and we didn't do nothing, right? We become more protective of ourselves. And the only value that we have in the world is when we make something of ourselves. Remember in Proverbs when Proverbs 31, who could find a virtuous woman, all of that stuff. It says that her husband sits at the gate with the elders.
Yeah.
And like Proverbs says that a great name is to be more treasured than silver or gold. So it's like I have to make a name for myself in order to be of value, for a woman to see me as valuable. Like I have to do something with my life. And so that means that I am in performance mode. Like, dudes who sell drugs, or they hustle at the barbershop, or they do this, or they, become a pastor or the bishop or whatever. All of these things that we're doing to add value to ourselves, to make us more attractive, so we can earn a living, so we can be more attractive to our companions, so we can take care of our children. It's all performance based. And I'm not saying that you all don't have that. What I am saying is that that's what they have taught us before, how to connect with someone emotionally, or how to reconnect after, there's hurt, after some girl hurts your feelings and she rejected you at the high school dance or whatever. Like, how to re-engage that and be open. And so I just think we have two different experiences, being human, which is fine. I do reject this idea that a woman can define what masculinity is, because usually a woman's definition of masculinity is the man that she wants.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it would be like my expectation for a woman to be everything that I want them to be. No, she actually has to be the woman that she is, and I have to learn to accept that, and be her partner if that's the case. But seemingly women want to create a man that she finds acceptable in turn, instead of accepting the man that he is and learning to love who that is. Maybe not. Maybe I'm maybe this is all nonsense. I don't know.
No, it's not. You're talking right, Pat. You're talking right. But when you go back and you talked about the scripture and how you have to have this great name, I think that's because when I was asking the men that gave me the 4 questionings, it's like a lot of them alluded to like how do you live in a world that just always constantly wants you to show up and be strong and be tough and have the world on your back? Like that was a lot of like the questionings from the men. Like once asked, do you feel loved? How do you keep up the facade? Are you tired of being strong? Like that's a lot of
It's
pressure. Like
exhausting. Yeah. It's absolutely exhausting, especially if you listen to social media. And you hear women who say, "Well, he can't date me unless he give me 50,000 a month and all this
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
stuff or whatever." And again, here's where I think women have influence, because if you say, "Well, money is important to me," what that man gonna do? He gonna go get some money. He gonna go get some money. If this is what it costs to have you in my life, oh, okay, I'm gonna get some money, and that's what he does. So here, that doesn't mean, but I think that comes at the sacrifice of him being like emotionally available. That doesn't make him nice to you. It doesn't make him see you. Um, but if you prioritize his performance and the gains or the profit of that performance, and that's what you want, that's what he gonna give you. You ain't asked me to be nice. You didn't ask me to be faithful. You didn't ask me to care. Like I'm doing what you said was important. You said money was important. Here is the money. And I think we women, a generation of women have trained certain men of a generation to only care about chasing money, because that's all they care about. That's what you said. You get on podcast and say, "Well, he got to pay all my bills." Okay, sure, I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna pay all your bills. I ain't gonna. Don't ask me to be nice.
Yeah.
I ain't going to church with you. Like I'm not. I don't care nothing about you.
I
Like
gotta
I
get that
don't.
money.
Yeah, and that's because that's what you said you wanted. And so I think sometimes those things work against us, and what we think wanted. And I know we talk about it or whatever, but that's Cassie, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And she flew private. She stayed in penthouses. That's what you want. You want the money. That don't mean he gonna be nice to you. That don't mean he gonna treat you right. Does it like so? Okay, so what are your priorities? And so again, I think, but that's old. That's scripture. That's patriarchy.
Yeah.
Um, and I think women are okay with it until they're not.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Some women, not all women, some women.
Yeah.
Some. Yeah.
So with
And is
that,
that exhausting? It is absolutely exhausting. Yes, I'm sorry. It is absolutely, absolutely exhausting. And it doesn't give you a whole lot of time to reflect and figure out how you feel, to do the emotional work that you
yeah.
need. No, because we gotta hustle up. Excuse me.
So with that being said, how can Black women support Black men?
I think you start by looking at the men who are in your life, uh, and asking yourself, are you showing up for them? Are are you connecting, with them? Like, what do they need? Sometimes when a woman asks you what you need as a man, the question sounds so strange you don't know how to answer. Like I don't know.
Is it a
I
trick
don't know
question?
what I need. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, you're startled at the question and then you don't have an answer for it. And so I think it starts with, your husbands and your sons and your fathers, and just checking in and are you okay? And just don't do it once. Create an atmosphere where like that's normal.
Yeah.
Like, this is our space. It could be with your dad, it could be with an uncle. Hey, how you doing? Do you need anything? And letting them know I'm showing up for you and I hold space for you. Um, and if you need to talk, you could talk. Um, so I don't know if you can, if every woman can change the whole world
Yeah.
and show up for men. I think that women should feel an obligation to the men that they say that they love, to be present with them. Um, and another thing too, here's what hinders men from opening up sometimes, is that sometimes when we do open up and we share, like if I was married and I said, well, I'm not feeling loved or supported at this, that, and the other. Sometimes a woman's default is to be like, oh, so you saying I'm a bad wife? No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all. You wanted to talk.
Yeah.
So then I said this, and so now I have to apologize to you because I was honest. I think it's healthy in those moments to decenter yourself. It's not about you. Like you asked me to talk. I'm just sharing. I'm not, that doesn't mean I don't love you. It doesn't mean I don't want to be here. It doesn't mean those are the kind of things. If I'm feeling some kind of way, it doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. It it could just be this is the way I feel. So don't make it about you and have me have to apologize to you over the way I feel when you wanted to have this conversation to begin with. Just let me, let me talk and hopefully you'll hear me. And more times than not, I've been living with it for a long time anyway. So let's just so let's not make it any worse. Just listen.
I love that. You actually just gave us, a little game. Because I do that all the time. But honestly, I'm getting better, Pat. The thing is
Yeah.
that I think it. I don't say it. I think it now.
hmm
But sometimes I kind of get upset. But like you said, like, this ain't about you, baby. Like, this about
Yeah, let me
him.
tell all my sisters. Let me tell all my sisters I love you from the bottom of my heart. I'm gonna tell you the truth. And I hope you hear me as sincerely as I'm trying to be in this moment. What I have to say to you is that everything ain't about you. It's not. It's not. It's not. No, it's not. It's everything. No, everything ain't about you. It's not.
Yeah.
Love you, but everything ain't about you.
No, you're right.
We don't have to bring everything back to the way you feel or the way you look at things. There's more, there's more to life than your feelings or the way you think about things. Like there's more perspectives in life to be had than just your opinion. And so everything it's not about you. And I think in the best sense, I hope that someone changes their mind about that because it must be exhausting to filter everything through your own ego and your own feelings and emotions when you feel everything, like everything is about you. I say I like your hair, and then you say, well, you didn't like my hair yesterday. Why didn't you say it yesterday? I'm not talking about. I'm just not. No, it's not about you. It was just a compliment. Everything doesn't have to rub up against your sense of self-worth. And so if you decenter yourself, then you don't have to incur that injury of thinking that everything is about you because everything's not about you.
It's not.
It's not. It's
It's
not.
not. I get it. So I have a few questions. This is good. This is actually going really good. Are you enjoying yourself?
I am. I didn't think it would go bad at all. Like I don't know what you think.
I think it would go bad. I don't know what I thought. I told you you
Okay.
scare me sometimes. So
Okay.
I love the
Are you
conversation.
over that now?
I am. You made me
Okay,
really
good.
comfortable. Thank you.
Good. You're welcome.
And this is not my question. This is a question from the ladies. Do you trust a big butt and a smile?
Here's what I've learned. The beautiful ones will always smash the picture. Can't do not trust beauty.
The beautiful
I know
ones.
so yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't don't do it to yourself. Don't
So
do it
you
to
going
yourself.
after the ugly ones or the mid?
You know, look, I'm not finna judge a black woman's beauty. I'm not finna put it on scales like that because I support all these queens are beautiful. It'll give me all of these
Are
queens.
they gonna come after you?
All these queens are beautiful. But I tell them, like there's some young guys at the barbershop or whatever, and we had conversations about women. I'm like, look, you have to make up your mind that every woman doesn't want to be had. Most women want to be chased. They love the gratification, they love the attention, but they're not trying to make a life with you. So just, recognize who wants something more than to just be chased. Because they'll let you chase them. They'll let you spend money on them. And especially if they think they're cute, which every woman I ever met think they're beautiful. And y'all are. God bless all these queens again. But you chasing beauty is foolish. Like, yeah, you can't. That is nothing to make a real relationship over. It's fleeting. I'm not saying attractiveness is not important. It is. It's important, but it ain't nothing to build a marriage off of, or like a lifelong commitment because you cute. Because I know. I know you have been married a long time, but before you got married, have you ever like dated somebody who they were fine and beautiful until you talked to them? Right. So there's they could be beautiful and stupid at the same time, and um, you don't want that.
A lot of them. Cause
Yeah.
you know my type was tall, light skin, and it was a lot. No
Uh-huh.
shade, no shade.
Mhm.
Cause you not
Right.
you not that,
Right.
but
Yeah.
it was a lot of tall, light skin, pretty
Yeah.
niggas out there.
Yeah. Right. In
Yeah.
Connecticut, right? Yeah. I heard.
CT,
So
yeah,
yeah, I
it's black
can.
people here. Shout out.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I was gonna say something. Dang. Oh, you mentioned barbershop. You
Hmm.
mentioned barbershop. This is not even a topic of discussion, but I'm curious. Now that you live in Austin, Texas,
Mhm.
how important it is for you to find a barbershop? And have you found one yet?
That was one of the first things I did.
Good. So you
Yeah, I
went on
had to.
TikTok or you actually asked someone?
It was more of a referral
Okay, good,
from a
good.
friend that I found. I know somebody, blah, blah, blah. And I don't let them do too much.
Okay.
When you get too ambitious,
Mm.
just make sure the fade is tight, keep the hair off my neck.
Is it a black
So
barber or Spanish?
yeah, he's black. Yeah, it has
Okay.
to be. Yeah,
I
it has
have
to
to
be.
be. Okay. Okay. You're not going to the Latinos.
Oh no,
No.
can't go to Supercuts.
Can't go to Supercuts. No.
Mm-mm.
Um, two more questions and we're gonna go. What's one lesson that life has taught you as a black man?
All of these deep questions. My goodness gracious, these questions are pretty impressive. Um, I'm gonna leave blackness out of it
Okay.
for a minute. What has life taught me as a man? That we're temporary. Man, we're only here for a minute. If you look at the cosmic calendar, when galaxies started taking shape through the different ages. If it's on a 24-hour clock, we got here at 11:59. That's how long humanity has been here in comparison as long as the universe uh, has been in existence. We're just here a blink of an eye. Right? Um, and it's precious that we have this gift to be here at the same time and to share space with one another and like to see all the things that we've seen in our lifetime in this short little lifetime. It's absolutely amazing. But um, we're only here for like a less than a blink of an eye when you look at the full cosmic calendar, whatever. And that's fascinating to me. And it makes me um, value life, friends, and laughing, and the small pleasures of ice cream, and deep conversations with interesting people, and all of those things. Like to experience all of it, knowing that one day, and we don't know, right? Like when this is be over for us, and how long we have to be here. And as a middle-aged man, I realize that I probably have lived most of my life already. Um, so okay, so we're here, and so every day is precious, and love deeply, and connect with people, and meet interesting people, and have as many conversations, or go back to school, or relocate, start a new job, and do it. Yeah, so that's what life is. You love somebody, try to love somebody. It doesn't mean that it'll always work the way you envision it to work, but try anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
Are you loving
and so yeah.
somebody?
Um, are you asking me, am I in a relationship with someone? Is that what you're asking me? Okay. Oh, I just need to get the good. I want to be accurate, man. No, I'm not. I wanted to. I kind of foresaw, where my life was going. I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this alone, and maybe we could figure something out. By the time I finish things like that. But it did happen. Um, I think I've been unlucky with love. Um, Probably more timing issues.
Okay.
But yeah, anyway. Um, yeah, no, no. I love people, but I am not in love.
So that means you're dating. That's what that means, without saying it.
Uh,
You love
well, right
people.
now I don't know nobody in Austin, so ain't nobody to date.
Well, I mean, you know, people in Chicago, you could fly people
Yeah,
out if you like
right. Okay, that sounds expensive.
on a teacher salary. You know.
Yeah, right. That sounds expensive. So, no, not at the moment. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you're in Texas, so you're. Oh yeah, you and James gonna hook up?
Yeah. When I go to Houston, I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll go see him.
Um, what legacy do you want to leave?
Here's what I want. When I'm gone, I want my friends to remember me and laugh. Like I want them to remember some conversation or some joke or something great memory that we had together, some time we had together. And I want them to be a little less sad that I'm gone. Um, and remember, that we laughed together and remember that we loved each other. Uh, legacy is the young people that were at my church, them thriving, them, doing, living life, having and being and doing. That's what I want to be my legacy. And hopefully I'm not finished yet. Hopefully I have more students to impact. Some of the greatest people in my life were teachers, and mentors, and hopefully I can be that for them, um, and pass something down. Um, so yeah, I would want that great memories to be my legacy.
Great memories. I love that. I think you're gonna be a great teacher. Like, I don't know you that well, but just having this conversation with you is interesting. It makes me want to continue. I know we gotta go. Because you got a life and I gotta go too. But like, I don't know. I feel comfortable with having a conversation with you and opening up. And I think kids need that. I feel like
Well,
hold on, when I look back like on my life, there are very far and few teachers that I had that actually taught me something. like, like you said earlier, I think they were just there to get a check. I know it may not have been a big check, but they needed it. I didn't have a lot of teachers that loved teaching. I didn't have a lot of teachers that actually wanted to pour into me, not just education wise or academic wise, but like just me being a human. And I feel
mhm,
like the biggest person in my life that did that as an adolescent, teenager, he wasn't even a teacher, he was a coach. And I ran track for 3 years of high school, and the most important thing was to for us, I mean, we was champions, but that wasn't important. The important part of the student athlete was the student, and trying to create these young teenagers and to help them and guide them to a life that they will go to, and to do
mhm,
everything that he could for 4 years. And it lasted, and the program is still lasting, and it's been successful. People have went to college, full ride, academic scholarships. They got their BA, went to got masters, PhDs, like all of that. So like when I look at that, I just feel like we need more of that. And I really see the greatness in you to wherever you land, wherever you go.
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you for that. Because I know, like you, the most influential people in my life have been my teachers, mentors who saw something in me and took time with me and talked to me. Like we need more teachers, and that's what I want to be for some young people who, coming into young adulthood and facing a very different world than you and I faced.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's what I want to be. So thank you for that. And thank you for feeling safe with me. Um, because I one part of my masculinity, or one of my life's duties, I feel like, is to make the women in my life feel safe. And I want my masculinity to feel safe. Um, and so yeah, I didn't have any, you know, trepidations about having this conversation with you. We didn't know each other well, but we knew
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
And so look, I was good with that. But thank you for feeling safe, and thank you for feeling safe enough to have this great conversation. It was really, really, really good.
It was. I enjoyed
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I was thinking back on when I came on your podcast, Love Again podcast, shout out.
Hmm. Hmm.
He also has the Black Running Back podcast
Hmm.
as well. And again, you made me feel super comfortable because I was looking at the episodes prior to that, and everybody was just pouring
Hmm.
out their heart and just telling all their business to you, and I was like, nah, I ain't doing that. I went on and did it, and I was like, oh shoot, um, Patrick doing a Patrick, you know. But you definitely was judging me for being raised Pentecostal. You told me I wasn't really saved, but then when I
I
went to
didn't. I
I
know
mean
thank God.
Methodist, but then when I went to Pentecostal, I was saved.
Yeah, it's okay. We all have our journey. We all have our journey. You got it. It don't matter when you get it, but you got it.
I
When you
got
got
it.
it, you got it.
Got it.
Uh-huh.
I
And you
love
got it
him
with
too.
evidence.
You know
Well,
I
you
love
got it
him.
with evidence.
Yes, I
So
do. Come on.
yeah.
I start doing it now. You ready? For your belly, you know. You
Everybody
was
ain't
in
got to
Terrier
know
service.
evidence. Yeah, everybody ain't got no evidence. So once you
George
got it,
Smith doesn't have it.
I ain't
Never
heard
spoken
nothing.
tongue.
I
Never
ain't heard no
spoken tongue.
utterance. I ain't heard no utterance never. So
The apostle. So deep dive, you were on the remix. You were part of
hmm
the church choir.
hmm
The Soul Children of Chicago
that was, yeah, yes. That was a community choir.
community choir. How long were
Yeah.
you in that for? Like as a teenager?
Yeah, like 5, 6 years.
Okay. And you got to like travel and
Yeah. Do you know
meet.
who they are?
No.
Have you heard of them before? You know that song "Perfect Praise"? Oh Lord,
Yes.
how excellent! That's us. Yeah, that's the choir. Yeah,
That's awesome. And I seen like it was like a reunion when I was doing the deep dive
yeah,
where
yeah. We had a
you
reunion about 10,
okay.
9, 10 years ago.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Hmm.
You also had a pet dog named Robin.
That's my younger brother's dog.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
but that's Robin. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
You also had a Patrick Shaffer show on the Brother Radio Network.
I did.
What
I
was that
did.
about? Was that
That was cool. That was like my first show. Had to be like 2008, 2009. No, maybe a little later than that, 2010. It was like right around when the book came out or whatever. That was like my first podcast, basically. And it was cool because we did like music and we did like pop culture stuff and politics stuff. And it was great interviews. I love being in conversation with people. I find, people infinitely curious. I'm curious about people and their journeys and their stories and things like that. So it was an opportunity. We got to cover a lot of different stuff. So it was great. It was a fun time. Yeah,
I was
yeah.
wondering because I seen like the people that you had up there. I'm like, oh,
Right,
you a
right.
radio? Dang, and you
Hmm.
were author. Love again. So so you named the podcast after the book.
Yes.
Are you gonna bring that back? Are you? What are
I
you doing?
am. I'm
Okay, good.
settled now. I'm settled now, and I'm out of my master's program.
Yes.
And so I have more time, and that's what it was. It's just life got real busy, and I had to put it down for a minute. But yeah, this summer I'm gonna launch it again. Um, yeah.
Good. This has been good. I appreciate you coming on. I specifically wanted you. I actually not like that, but as a guest, I wanted you on. I wanted to invite you on last year. Something
Mhm.
happened. Um, but I'm like, okay, I gotta get Pat on, and I hope he's free. And I was
Yeah.
worried too, like you were graduating, and then you announced that you moved, and I'm like, oh shoot, he's super busy. But you said yes, so I'm so
Yes.
grateful.
Oh, of course. Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me. I'm like, what? That you've had three other men, three or four other men on here.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
I'm
you're
glad. No, I'm just glad to make the number, the cut. I wasn't first or anything like that. If I'm your third thought, then that's fine.
was not.
Well,
You
you
was
had James on
first,
here,
but
right? You had James on here, right?
James was last year.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So I
I
mean, if you
had
like
Greg
that
on the
kind of thing,
first. He was the
if you
first.
like that kind of thing, if you like Greg, they're fine. Those are
See,
my
that's how I
brothers. I love
know.
all of them.
This is how I know you're not praying in that men's group chat. I know you're not. You're not
Every
tarrying. You're
day.
not saved.
Every day. Scripture today. Start off
About
with
it.
scripture today in the morning. Morning meditation.
Highly doubt it. Highly. Um, did I have anything else? I think that's it. Well, you know what? I do have something else.
Mm,
So you doing also the deep dive. I've seen so many pictures of you. You were in spaces. You was around great names, great people, talking about the community and talking about the village that helped raise you and
mhm,
allow you to become this man that you are today.
mhm,
Being around like great big name preachers, being around activists, Jesse Jackson, like being around all I mean, yeah, like having this it seemed like you had a relationship with these people. Like
mhm,
how did that shape you? You also you told the story about how you actually met a slave. I know we were joking, but that's big. Being in the presence, you didn't utter a word, but y'all looked at each other in a weird way. But probably even just being in his presence was just big enough for you. Having that man a part of your bloodline and your family, and to see
mhm.
that he has overcame. Like how was that for you being around these great big figures in your life, and also just being grounded in that
Mhm.
from what I can see.
Um, Again, I think when you're young, you don't know who these people are, it, who they are to the world. Um, you know who they are to you, and um, and so my understanding of who they were happened as I got older. And then when I got older, um, I was, still, meeting and coming into contact, and I've had lunch, or breakfast or brunch with some amazing people, and some of them I wish I hadn't met, um, because there's a difference between public performance and who you are as a person, and sometimes those things just don't match, and that was a lesson that I had to learn. Um, very early on, and then I met some people who were exactly as wonderful as I thought they were, um, and they talked to me and spent time with me, and I was able to discover of myself first who I wasn't, which I think is as important as discovering who you are. I think before you can know who you are, you have to know who you aren't. And that sense of identity comes out of you kind of peeling back layers and say, well, I'm not this, I'm not that. And well, then it's like, okay, well, who am I? And then you connect with people who unlock. I think that's the thing about love, right? Is that when you're in love, and when I'm not just romantic love, but when you're in a relationship with people, what happens is they unlock a version of you that you didn't know existed. Um, when we talked about our teachers, when somebody tells us we're smart, or that we can do it, or that we can do more than what we think we can do, it unlocks something in us that makes us believe in ourselves. Um, and I've had great, wonderful teachers and mentors um, who didn't, from my point of view, didn't stay with me long enough, um, but made incredible deposits in me. Um, and and so as you get older, you find that to be more precious. Like you're very grateful for the time that you've had um, with them, and then it impresses on you that we're only here for a minute. And so, um, love who you can, be who you can be, do all the things that you can do while you can do it.
Yeah.
Um, and live your life on purpose. And I'll close with this is like for a long time I felt like my life was on autopilot. Like I wasn't really making decisions for my life. I was just kind of letting life happen. And then, I started making decisions for because I felt like, well, if I keep waking up every day, I should probably live my life and make my life look like my decisions instead of it looking like stuff I just let happen or that I went with. And they all taught me, little pieces of that. And so, yeah, it's been, if I wrote a book, you would be like, you are. Well, I told you. I'll tell you some stories.
I love the Flavor Flav story. That's my favorite.
Okay. Yeah, it's not mine. I, if I saw Flavor Flav today, it would be a misunderstanding.
Great. We got one last thing, and I'm gonna do the affirmation. What would you tell this person here?
Whoa.
What would you tell him today?
Uh, don't trust red bones with brown eyes.
Is this your prom?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yo, young Pat
I
on the
know,
with the
I
stairs in the back.
know.
Fake.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
that.
Hot
Don't
top fade
trust the light skin, the red bone
with the hazel eyes.
with the hazel eyes. Got it.
Don't do it. None of them. None of them. They demons.
Gosh, we are going to leave off with an affirmation of the day for our Black men. Every episode we leave the episode with an affirmation, and today's affirmation, and mind you, disclaimer, this ain't deep. God didn't give me this word. I took this off of social media. Okay, thanks. Black men, you deserve to experience joy without guilt. That's the affirmation of the day. Pat,
Thank you for that.
thank you for being my guest. If you can share one tip, one opinion, one encouragement to your gender, what would it be?
I'm gonna tell you what I heard Frankie Beverly say.
Okay.
I went to a Frankie Beverly concert, and I had never heard "We Are One" before. Have you heard that song?
That song, yes.
I had never heard it before in my life, but he was talking before he sang the song, and Frankie said, "Out of all that you do, you better have some love in your life." And he's saying, "We are one," and I tell you, we were all in tears. Like it was one of the most moving experiences ever. So yeah, that's what I would say. Find love and try to hold on to it.
Right. You heard it here, people. We are one. That could be a gospel song, by the way. With
It
slowly,
is.
because you know
Like I
slow.
look at I think it is. It is. Whenever we sing about love, we're singing about the gospel. So
Come
yeah,
on, come on.
yeah.
There
Well,
also too, Pat. There was a lot of pictures of Stevie Wonder, and I'm like, is he making fun? Like you had him in the theater. I don't know if he could see. You had
Stevie Wonder has been trolling us for decades now, and we gonna find out at the funeral that this nigga could see all this time, and he was just using blindness as a hook to sell records.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Pat. Thank you for being my guest. Thank you for coming on and being celebrated. I wanted to celebrate you. I love everything that you're doing. I think that you are a great individual from what I know. And I just wish you the best in all your endeavors. Go high, continue to be black in Austin, Texas. Do not deny it. I know you're not.
Mhm.
Because you on Roland Martin, you doing your big activist work. So I love that for you. You a big time. You big time. You was on TBN. You was on the
Mhm.
Word Network. Like you was getting it in. You're an author.
Well, we're not
Um,
gonna say TB and a word network is big time, but I get your point. I appreciate that. I try to keep those things quiet, but thank you for bringing them up in public.
of
I'm
course.
trying to forget those things which are behind, especially TBN with them white nationalist devils.
Thank you for
But
coming on
yes,
and being my
appreciate.
guest.
But yeah, we come a long way. We come a long way. But thank you for having me. No, I really appreciate it. Thank you for asking me. This is a great conversation. And
Yeah,
thank you for this.
you're welcome. I hope you could come on again. We're talking about friendships in July. Um,
Anytime you want me to, just
okay.
ask me.
All right.
Mm, I'm
Thank
down.
you. Like, share, and subscribe. This has been Outside the Box podcast. I'm your girl, TY Lisa, with Patrick Shaffer, and I'm out. Peace.